Hi everyone, welcome to Hattons Model Railways live streams, and today we've got a bit of a new release for you. This is hot off the press. It's only been in stock with us for a couple of days, so I really wanted to get one onto my workbench to have a look at it in some really close detail and show you some of the really interesting features that it has too. Of course, it's Dapol's latest 00 gauge 43XX Mogul. This is a fantastic loco for you Great Western Railway modelers out there, and an ideal piece if you are modelling from the 30s and the 20s, actually, from the 1920s right through to the 1960s and into preservation too. So we'll be taking a closer look at these models. I'll get one running up and down my little bit of test track here and on some rolling roads too. I've got one in my side studio that we'll be able to take a little bit of a closer look at to show off some of the finer details there. But if you have any questions regarding this model, please do put them in the chat. And of course, as always, there's a link in the description where you can find out a huge amount more information on the model and the prototype. So let's get started. Let's actually have a look at what models are available right now. These are coming in 6 different liveries, which you can see on the screen. So starting for you 1920s modelers, we have 6336 in the 1920s style Great Western livery with the lettering. Heading into the 1930s, we gained the shirt button emblem on the tender, the later style livery on number 6385. Just before nationalisation, coming in there, you've got 7301 in the post-war GWR livery with the GWR lettering on the tender. Heading into British Railways days, you've got 6324 in the BR black with the early emblem, ideal for you modelers of the late 1940s, early 1950s. If you're still sticking with that era, but you want something with a little bit more class, you can go for the fully lined BR green with the early emblem locomotive, as seen here on number 6364. And finally, for you modelers of the late 1950s and early 1960s, you can see and have 7310 here in the lined green again, but this time with the late crest. And as you can see from some of those pictures there, there's a huge amount of tooling differences being incorporated into these locomotives. Dapol have confirmed that the models cover the locomotives built number 5390 to 7321, which are the locomotives delivered to the Great Western Railway between 1920 and 1923. But there's still a lot of difference in those locomotives that you can get, with alternative buffers, different smokebox door lamp brackets, different hinge plates and steam pipes on the sides of the locomotives too, just to name a few of the different variations. And I really do recommend having a look through some of the images on our website. Almost a little game of spot the difference, really, to really see how individual they have made each of the 6 locomotives released so far. Now, these particular models are currently available digital ready. We are expecting digital fitted and digital sound fitted models of these to come through within the next few weeks, and these can be pre-ordered now. But let's give you a bit of a close-up of one of the locos I have here. And I'll just show you the tender details that you have at the back. This shows quite a few different things that you'll see here. You've got an exquisite amount of cab detail, fully picked out in all the correct colours. You can just about see on the camera there the details in the gauges too, which has got to be a really fine level of printing on there. You've also got the quite interesting coupling system that between the loco and the tender. So you will find that you can just see it there. There's a little clip that comes out the back of the locomotive that clips into the tender that contains your electrical coupling in there too. And it's a really easy mechanism to work. It just clips together. There's no need for any screws, any fussing around with wiring, no issues at all. But you can really see here some of the finer details up close, including the separately fitted brake gear, a lot of the rivet detail on the side of the tender there. As we're coming round towards the front, you've got the space there for the builder's plate on the rear of the tender, and also some of the front detail, including the NEM couplings and the separately fitted handrails, etc. One question we had a lot of during the stream where we showed the decorated samples was regarding the axle box covers being painted. And as you can see here, they are finished in the same condition as the wheels, so they do blend in absolutely fantastically, in my opinion. So that's a little bit of a close-up. I'll just bring it round to the cab again for you. You'll notice as well that the number plates are printed on these models, but in the detail bag, you do get a full set of etched number plates in there. So have a bit of a look and see if you do want to fit on a couple of details. And of course, if you do want to fit some details, have a look at our detail fitting video. It's really easy to do, especially on these models. So it's really good up close. It's got some innovative features too. The digital fitting, again, you don't need a screwdriver, you don't need any tools. The smoke box door just pulls away and then you slide out the 18-pin decoder socket. It's got a 5-pole motor located in the locomotive, and this gives us some really smooth, quiet running. I've not had a chance to get one onto our full test track, unfortunately, but I've set up a little bit of a rig here today, so you can just see it performing. As you can see, there's some really smooth, slow running. This has barely been out of the box, so it's not even ran in yet. So should give it a couple of minutes running in usually, but even from there, you can see straight away, it's really quiet and really smooth, slow runner there, which is exactly what you want for one of these locomotives. So hopefully that helps answer your question there, Kelly, regarding the running of these particular locos. It's a complete world apart from the previous models that have been available of the 43XX, with pickups on every wheel, and you've got the 5-pole motor combined with a die-cast chassis in there too. You've got a really smooth, quiet runner, and no doubt a great haulage capacity as per the real-life locomotives. I'll just get that on the rolling road for you too, so we can get it up to speed a little bit and see how we do for speed performance. Just make sure those are on there. It is something that will look fantastic, whether it's on a mixed traffic working, on a slightly more heavy-duty passenger train, or indeed a mixed freight. They really were mixed traffic locomotives, these locos, and seen all over the Great Western network. So you can see there straight away, up to full speed, still really quiet, even at that higher speed there. Smooth running with the full valve gear working on the side of the locomotive too. So really impressive runner. As said, sorry I can't get it on the full-size track. It's something I'll look into, but you can see here now that it's straight and good to go out of the box. And from the customers who've had these delivered already, we've had some really good reviews on how they are performing on their layouts. And they come in at just over, I believe it's about 300 grams, these particular models. So you've got a great amount of weight in there for the haulage capacity. Kelly, the loco I've got here is running on an analog controller. I've just got hidden behind the screen here. So absolutely perfect and good to go. So models are coming in with digital and sound for you digital modelers, which are available in the coming weeks. If you did want to fit one though, as we mentioned previously in the stream, it's a really easy mod to pull away the smoke box door and pull out the decoder socket and then fit it in. You don't need any tools at all to get one of these locomotives digital fitted. If we're looking for the detail pack, you do get one with these locomotives, but most of the details do come pre-fitted. So really easy for you to get started. The aforementioned etched number plates are in there, dependent on the locomotive you are being supplied, and also an enclosure for the sugar cube speaker should you wish to fit one in the tender. And then you have a separate steam pipe for, I believe, the rear of the locomotive. But otherwise, everything else comes pre-fitted, whether it's the lamp irons, whether it's the vacuum brake pipes at either end, with the alternative Great Western and BR style versions on there. The 3,500 gallon tender that Dapol have chosen to model with this locomotive, again, that contains your digital socket and space for a sound speaker in there, as well as some really finely molded coal that you can just about see. I'll just bring up the larger loco there on the spotlight, and I'll again just give that a spin for you. You can see the real fineness of the coal there, as well as the inter, tender and loco detailing. And that coupling mechanism, it's a first for me. I haven't seen anything like that before. If you have, do let me know in the chat, because that's just a clip. You don't need to worry about any wiring, any connections, any screwdrivers. It just plugs in and pulls apart. So it's really easy to connect the locomotive and the tender, and also separate them for any maintenance that you are carrying out there too. Really good question there, Kelly, is the price of these models. Now, the models that we have available right now are the analog models, and these come in at $135.96. And then the models that are coming in with digital fitted and digital sound fitted go up from that up to about $265, I believe, with sound. But do check out that link in the description where all the information is available. And of course, you can order any of these models right now. But these fill a really big gap for Great Western modelers. A medium-sized locomotive such as this hasn't been available for quite a while now. As some of you mentioned before, there was a model in the past that was tooled up in the late 1970s, but it is a complete world apart than the model I have in front of me here. This model is absolutely covered in details. I'm just checking. I'm not quite sure, but I'll have a look. Yep, you do get a flickering firebox effect in there too. So a nice little bonus should you want that in there. That is controllable on digital, or it does work straight out of the box on an analog controller too. So that'll give a really nice effect and showing the loco as it should be, working hard with the fire blocks aglow. One last little thing to mention, of course, is the box. It's a really sturdy box packed with foam inside, and the loco comes in a plastic clamshell. So really protecting the locomotive, whether it's being shipped to you from us or whether you're taking it to a friend's layout to operate on a different system or even for storage. You get a full color printed manual. And this is really comprehensive, guys. It's 24 pages long, so it covers absolutely everything you need. You've got a full guide there on how to fit the digital decoder, as we mentioned, a history of the real-life locomotives, and a fully comprehensive selection of spares there too, should you break any small pieces at all, which hopefully won't happen, but you know you're in safe hands if you do manage to lose any parts that you have. James, it's not something I'm able to really get to show on the camera today. I've just had a quick look in there now, and especially at the higher speeds, you can really see that glow coming through. It's a sort of a yellow color in there. I'll try and get some pictures of that added to our website. So if you have a look at the link in the description, I'll see what I can do about getting some pictures on. But certainly to me, it has got that real effect in there, with a nice sort of yellowy, orangey, authentic glow of the fire. So it really is worth a closer look. And as we mentioned, that's in there on the analog models and will be fully controllable on the digital and the digital sound models too. Robert, these should have been started to ship now, so have a check on your orders. We have received all the stock of the analog versions. If you've got a digital or a digital sound version on order, they should be with us in a couple of weeks. But if you've got an analog version, just have a check of your orders on your website or get in touch with our team, as these should already be on the way to you. So hopefully there's a parcel heading your way with a 43XX in it. So definitely one heading to Dan there, as we can see. What livery have you gone for, Dan? Do let us know. Out of the 6 that we've got here. Ryan, I haven't got a ruler in front of me, unfortunately. It's the one thing I've not got to hand, I'm afraid. Nope, not one to hand. I would say, at a guess, it is about 20 centimeters. But again, have a check on our website. We'll be able to confirm that for sure. And I will get that added onto the description for you. So have a bit of a look. And if you want to take a closer look at any of the models that we have here today, we have got some really up close and personal images on the website from several different angles of all the models that are available right now. So click that link in the description if you want to see more of these. All the details, everything on there is able to be seen in the models images that are provided on the website. So do head over there if there's a particular livery you like the look of and you want to see some close-up details of it. And I'll just give you one last look at the details on 7310 here. I'll just bring that round one last time. So you can see there as well, just about between the front and the center driving axle, you can just about see a representation of the inside working valve gear. It's not working on the model, but it looks really good from certain angles to make it seem like it is fully fitted in there. That center axle is sprung too, so you'll find there's no issues with bumpy track or the loco getting round second radius curves. One thing we haven't really pointed out, and just a brief mention there, is the shade of GWR and BR green used. I think this is absolutely spot on, really. It is something that Dapol have got a bit of a knack for, really, especially with the 00 and O gauge Great Western locomotives. But the green to me really does look like the GWR green used, and then the slightly different shade, as is authentic for the BR era, set off by the orange and black lining. They really do come out quite nicely, but have a bit of a look at that, and there is more information there. So one last question there from Richard. The information we believe at the moment, we'll be able to confirm it when the models arrive, but it's expected that it will be a Dapol Imperium decoder that's fitted to the digital versions, the 18-pin digital version. And the digital sound decoder will be a Zimo decoder, which will have fully authentic sounds recorded from one of the surviving 43XX moguls out there. So you'll find that's a really authentic sound on one of those Zimo decoders. We'll be able to confirm that for certain when the models arrive. So again, check out the information on the website, and when we know that, that will be on there. And Robert, just again to mention that the sound versions, we're hoping about the end of November, but as soon as we have a confirmed date on that, we will let you know as soon as we find out. So again, keep an eye on the website, or keep an eye on your emails for the latest information on the digital versions. But if, like Kelly, you can't resist one of these and you'd like to pick up one, we have the analog versions available right now. We have good stocks of all of them, but they are selling fast. So make sure to pick up one of these right away if you want to fill that big gap in your Great Western collection. If you want to see more, click the link in the description. As we've said, there's huge amounts of photos of all 6 of the releases so far, so you can see them from various different angles and all the details, including the boxes. We've got the locos up there too, and the specification added onto there, as well as a bit of history regarding the real-life locomotives and the duties they performed. So do take a closer look at that if you'd wish to find out some more. Otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at this model. I certainly have. It's great to see a new release coming through. It's always great to see a new release coming through. And this really is going to be one of Dapol's classic models, I think, for many years to come. We certainly won't be forgetting about this in a hurry, and who knows, we might see some more liveries coming in the future too. So I hope you've enjoyed this preview of the model. If you want to see one up close and personal, you can order your own right now. Again, have a look at that link in the description. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page for more videos like this, including new release previews, some of the skills cast sessions, and real railway profiles too. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.